Welcome to the Airgun Show. In this week's episode, I've got some simple advice that I hope will help you with the tricky task of securing a shooting permission. But before that, we're joining Rich Saunders for what turns out to be a fantastic night on the rats.
Well, there's loads of rats up here tonight. It's a real tuck your trousers in your wellies job, to be honest. They're all over the place. I'm not surprised because I'm on a chicken farm, and about every 18 months or so the farmer changes the flock, and one of the hen houses gets dragged back in the field so it can be cleaned and all the muck can be scraped up. And when that happens, the rats just disperse all over the place trying to find whatever cover they possibly can. Now, you might have seen an episode sometime last year when I was on the same venue after another flock change, and I shot hundreds of rats that night, and I've got a feeling tonight's going to be the same. Well, that was a hectic 5 minutes. I've just moved over to where the shed was. It's now just like a big patch of dirt, and the rats are in a paddock on the side, so long grass there, and I can see them through the thermal lining up along the long grass, and they're just venturing out onto the dirt to dig around for some chicken feed. Yeah, I think there's going to be a few more coming out of there. Well, I can see loads of rats down here, so I'll be quick. Quick word about the gear. I'm using my Daystate Wolverine Arch, the C-type with the cylinder as opposed to the bottle. 22 caliber, 12 foot-pound rifle. It's regulated with a side lever action. Plenty of shots. It's an 11-shot magazine, which is going to come in handy tonight. On top of that, I've got my ATN X-Sight 4K Pro, so that I can obviously shoot in the dark and record footage. And holding those together is a set of sports match mounts, and I use those because they're guaranteed for life and they're made in the UK. just moved down to a line of laurel trees, and I can see the rats all hiding down the side here, and I shot 2 or 3 in succession there. There's loads more down there, but rather than exhaust the spot, I'm going to keep rotating around, so I think I'm going to move off and try another spot. Well, I just moved over to a corner of the farm here. There's lots of farmyard junk around here. There's loads of rats hiding out underneath pallets and bits of machinery and just general junk really. And managed another few more. Got a double there, shot the first one, and then his mate came out to see what was going on. Had a bit of a nose around, and he got it as well. That's always the way. I shot the first one there, and there's a second rat. Went to get him as well, and I'd run out of pellets. Fortunately, I've got another magazine in my pocket, and I fumbled around to get it in the dark. Not always the easiest thing to do. And when I went back on him again, he was still sat there, so he got it as well. Well, it's starting to get a little bit quiet now. Shot lots of rats. I think I'm going to have one more tour around the laurel trees, the mud square and the sheds. See if I can get a few more, then I'll call it a night. Well, we're well into the wee hours now. Lots of rats have been shot, and to be honest, I thought it was going to be busy, and boy, was it busy. Final job is to bucket, litter picker, go and pick them all up. Well, that was a really productive session last night. Went on to the early hours, but we got lots of rats. I picked up about 40 or 50 in the dark last night. I popped back to the farm again this morning to carry on picking up, and I've got another bucket of probably, I don't know, 40 or 50 again today. So yeah, all in all, a really productive night. Thanks for watching.
A great night on the rats for Rich there. Next up, a few pointers that I hope will help you when it comes to securing a shooting permission of your own. One question I probably get asked more than any other is how to get yourself shooting permissions. Now, it certainly isn't always easy, but there are plenty of things that you can do to improve your chances. And the main one is to use common sense, because you are far more likely to get a positive response if you ask in the right way. It is a big advantage to be closely involved with your local community, because the more people you know, the more likelihood there is of one of them offering you shooting permission, or at least being able to introduce you to somebody who can. Now, whether it's through work, sports clubs, your children's school, or the pub, try to think of all the people you know and if any of them could benefit from the pest control that you're offering. Asking someone you already know, or at least getting an introduction from a mutual friend, is great, because that extra familiarity, it will help to build trust. Now, another way to convince landowners that you are a responsible shooter who takes his or her sport very seriously is to get yourself insured. And there are numerous other benefits to joining a shooting organisation such as the BASC, which includes insurance in its membership package. If you can't think of anyone you already know who might be able to grant you permission to shoot on their land, think about helping out on a local game shoot. Now, apart from being great fun and really good exercise, working as a beater is a really great way to connect with your local shooting community. And there are a lot of gamekeepers out there that will no doubt be very grateful for you to help them with pest control once they get to know and trust you. Letter writing can work, and even if you write to 30 farmers and only get one positive response, you have still succeeded in securing a shooting permission. Now, your letter should include details of your shooting insurance, plus a bit of background about your experience and the pest control service that you are offering. And of course, it also needs to include your contact details. Door knocking can be productive, but be polite and don't turn up in your shooting clothes as if you expect to get permission then and there. Now, I always find door knocking more successful if I can actually spot an active pest problem happening on the farm before I turn up. That way, I can point out either the rabbits or pigeons and the damage that they're doing to the farmer, and then offer to help them for free. Now, if you're going door knocking, do expect lots of knockbacks and be polite when you get them. The farming community is a very close-knit one, and if you upset one farmer, others will quickly hear about it. When you do get yourself a shooting permission, do the absolute best job that you can and never take it for granted. If you fail to deliver the service that you promised, then your farmer will probably find somebody else who will. Now, you need to treat their land with absolute respect at all times, and remember that you can act as a really valuable extra pair of eyes and ears. So it's worth reporting things such as damaged fences or any suspicious activities that you encounter during your outings. Finally, don't give up. If you do the right things and persevere, you will get yourself that vital first shooting permission. And if you do a good job, your landowner is likely to recommend you to others. If you get yourself recognised and trusted among the local farming and shooting community, it is almost inevitable that other permissions will eventually follow. Just remember not to take on so many that you can't do a good job with them. Now, that may sound completely unbelievable when you're chasing that elusive first permission, but it really can happen. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for in this week's episode, but as ever, we'll be back again in a fortnight, and in the meantime, you can keep up with me on Instagram at Matt Manning Outdoors. Thank you for watching, and remember, if you aren't already a member of the BASC, have a look at their website and check out the benefits that you could be taking advantage of through Airgun membership.
Don't miss the award-winning Airgun Shooter magazine. It's packed with hunting features, reviews, tactics and insight to help you become an even more successful shooter. Get your copy today in shops or online.